second, the extra hitter, number 5, Cooper Fesh. Batting third, the second baseman, number 46, Omar Cabreras. Batting fourth, first baseman, number 27, James Bolton. Batting fifth, the shortstop, number 2, Jackson Inman. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 7, Sean Mingus. Batting seventh, the third baseman, number 21, Justin Espinal. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 99, Jacob Vesco. Batting ninth, the catcher, number 47, Cooper Rowan. And batting 10th, the center fielder, number 3, Travis Hammond. The starting pitcher for Batavia is number 8, Jaden Sherwood. The Muckdogs are coached by Skip Martinez, assisted by Grant Pickham, Khalid Cox, and Julian Pichardo. Now let's meet the starting lineup for your Auburn Doubledays. We're leading off the second baseman from Auburn University, number 21, Tyler Gidbakwa. And second, the left fielder from Edison University, number 34, Bobby Hardy. Batting third, the extra hitter from Villanova University, number 5, Mark Gialucci. Batting fourth, the catcher from the University of Delaware, number 19, Anthony DeCesare. Batting fifth, the shortstop from Lemoyne College, number 36, Adam Sullivan. Batting sixth, the third baseman from Mississippi State University, number 31, Charlie Wortham. Batting seventh, the right fielder from Hamilton College, number 16, Gianni DeServo. Batting eighth, the designated hitter from Binghamton University, number 9, Hayden Albright. Batting ninth, the first baseman from St. Peter's University, number 12, Nick Izzo. And batting 10th, the center fielder from Mount St. Mary's University, number 1, Sam Meyer. The starting pitcher for the Doubledays from Oneonta State, number 24, Eric Korzeniewski. Right back boys are number 2, Braden Ford, and number 3, William Dean. The Doubledays are coached by Matthew Petrosi, assisted by Ryan Fletcher. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask all who are able to please stand and remove their caps for our national anthem. The anthem will be performed by Ms. Kira Dominic.
Welcome back to Falcon Park for another Auburn Doubledays matchup. After a long road break, finally returning for a home stretch. I'm Ryan Story alongside Luke Backman. And Luke, it was certainly an eventful road stretch for the Auburn Doubledays as they prepare for tonight's matchup with the Batavia Muckdogs.
Yeah. Great to see you again, Ryan, here at Falcon.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a while, but all right. You want to get a good start. You want to set the tone. While you are in the playoffs, find yourself in a whole playoff game.
Yeah, when we had last spoke back on that Wednesday with a 10-3 win over Elmira, things were looking up for the Doubledays. They were deadlocked with both Jamestown and Elmira Jamestown and Niagara Falls for that 2 seed. They were, I think, a half a game back of each of those teams and just 2 games back of Batavia. Well, a 2-3 stretch since that point has dropped Auburn to now 4 games back of Batavia, a half a game behind Niagara Falls, and 2 games behind Jamestown. So you're right, Luke, there is potential for this Auburn team to move up. That's certainly there. But after a doubleheader loss to Niagara on Sunday, they certainly need to start piling up those wins, and we'll see how they perform here. On the mound for the Doubledays tonight, it's Eric Korzeniewski. He'll be going against Braden Horton to kick things off, the Coastal Carolina product at the plate. First pitch is in there for strike number 1. Catches the outside part of the plate. That'll be hit up into the outfield, and it's going to be Sam Meyer coming underneath it for a quick first out.
Now batting the extra hitter number 5, Cooper Fesh.
As the second pitch going to be fouled off. First pitch of the at-bat to the second batter of the night. And it's going to be a tough start to the first inning for Eric Korzeniewski. Managed to get a good out against Braden Horton, but Cooper Fesh, second on the team in batting average, 346 on the campaign with a slugging of 433. Fesh has some power behind his bat. That's golfed into center field, and Meyer makes a diving snag, slides right underneath it for another fly out to center.
Now batting the second baseman number 46, Omar Contreras.
They're making up these ground making a sliding grab. And you love to see that defense helping out the pitcher. Whereas we've seen in Auburn Park, the Doubledays defense late loss in the in games and close games. Love to see the defense getting off to a hot start for today.
Certainly a hot start for Sam Meyer out there in center. As Korzeniewski pitches the second one, and that's hit deep. Omar Carreras crushes one over to left field. Bobby Hardy manages to backpedal and get underneath it. Great fielding from the outfield. Batavia knocks 3 balls out of the infield, but doesn't get any of them to drop. Auburn still in a deadlocked 0-0 ball game as they head to the bottom of the first inning. Stick around for more Doubledays baseball. Doubledays, after a quick top half of the first, are up to bat here in the bottom of the inning. Tyler Vivacqua will kick things off, followed up by Bobby Hardy and Mike Gialucci. Going against starting pitcher Jaden Sherwood, the righty out of Monroe Community College. That's fouled off by Vivacqua. Yeah, I mean, the record's obviously impressive with that 4-1 record, but with the bats that Batavia have, him having fantastic offensive support isn't surprising. That's grounded right past Sherwood, and that'll make it into the outfield for a quick first hit for Tyler Vivacqua. Would you look at that? The Muckdogs hit 3 balls out of the infield, no hits, while Tyler Vivacqua dribbles one right past the pitcher and gets credited with a base hit.
He is your stereotypical guy wanting to lead off this lineup. That's exactly right. He gets on base, and now he immediately comes to correct the steals. Second on this ball club, 15 steals, only trailing Sam Meyer, who has 17 steals. Look for Blocker to potentially be on the move early.
That was, as I was saying prior to that hit by Vivacqua, Sherwood's 2.4 ERA is what really sticks out to me about his stat sheet. It's not too difficult for him to rack up those wins with the amount of runs that his batters are going to plate behind him. But what he manages to do is keep the opposing team low scoring, make it even easier for his hitters. All that is a cushion for him, but he doesn't even need it. As that pitch catches the inside part of the plate, 1-1 count. 88 miles per hour.
Yeah, helps you so much. Not only with helps you out with some gems with some Doubledays pitch, and the offense hasn't been clicking that day.
Hardy fouls that one off, falls behind to the count 1-2. A 14-mile-per-hour dip there from Sherwood, going from the 88-mile-per-hour fastball to the 74-mile-per-hour breaking ball.
I told you, her nose is on short. You didn't. Yeah, I'm just used to it.
1-2 hit, gets over the head of Sherwood, and that will be a fielder's choice as the second baseman Carreras tosses it over to Bolton rather than trying to flip it back to Inman, the shortstop. So Sherwood lets 2 balls get by him out in the field. Vivacqua advances to second, and that'll bring up Mike Gialucci, the extra hitter.
Yeah, kind of worked out for the just got over Sherwood's glove. Second baseman.
Let's go.
No, I don't have somebody traveling,
Out in the shirt.
you know.
I'm with him. Very good, dude.
That pitch gets the outside part of the plate. Gialucci not too thrilled with that call. He falls behind at the count 0-1. Mike Gialucci on the campaign. Batting average dipped down to 286 over the, or excuse me, 283 over that long break, but his hitting is still arguably the biggest threat of his game. This is a patient batter, but can also rip one deep into the outfield.
No, because usually like
That's the catcher to break them being behind the plate.
As that pitch outside, 2-1 count. And then imagine with this stretch of games over the next few days, it's going to be Gialucci and DeCesare just flip-flopping behind the plate. You got to be rested with those catchers. Got to have that rotation. It seems like they've really tamp down that rotation. They've got that down, and it's seemingly worked out. Even with that loss of Troy Reeder around mid-season, the original starting catcher out of Notre Dame, this Doubleday squad has not looked back with the duo of Gianluigi and DeCesare.
Yeah, Gianluigi played longer time, 30, but Gianluigi's built a connection with the starters.
As that pitch misses the zone, 3 balls, 2 strikes, full count. There's an out on the board with a runner at second. On deck, Anthony DeCesare. In the hole, Adam Sullivan.
Big hole between first and second base. Holding on.
And Vivacqua takes off the throw down to third and does not get there in time. Vivacqua gets the stolen base, and as an added bonus for the Doubledays, Gianluigi will take first with the walk.
Right there, telling Vivacqua.
Now batting the catcher from the University of Illinois, Anthony DeCesare.
Right there. Also, get in there before the tag was applied, so the base running by Vivacqua was taking a large secondary leads from second and then jumping at that opportunity. You guys have runners on the corners now with 1 out.
It appeared that Omar Carreras at second and Jackson Inman at short were communicating over what to potentially do about a double steal from the Doubledays. As we've seen Mark Gianluigi over at first, 6 steals on the season. Again, for a late addition, 6 steals is a pretty impressive number.
Yeah, he's made his impact felt throughout the lineups. 11 RBIs, 6 steals. He's become he's an benchmark, a guy you want to line up every single night, so wouldn't be surprised to see him off the line.
That's fouled off by DeCesare. Sherwood's velocity has been pretty high throughout. Generally caps out at 89, 90, and has been in the high 80s all day. But some unusual early trouble for the veteran pitcher. Normally manages to stay out of these sticky situations early, but today has fallen into a 1, runners on first and third, as a potential double play does not get there in time. DeCesare makes it over to first, and a run will score. Tyler Vivacqua crosses home for a 1-0 Auburn Doubledays lead.
What a job.
Number 36, Adam Sullivan.
Double play, second short. Showing hustle, knowing he had to beat the 4-0, and that allows really shakes up.
I forget who said it, but a former MLB catcher once said, "It always seems like catchers are running against the wind." DeCesare proving that one wrong as he knifes right in there to make it safe at first. Now it's Adam Sullivan up to bat with DeCesare on first.
Love to see. Talked about this throughout the year. We want to see the Doubledays get up to a fast start. It's one score number 1 in this inning is for 2 runs in the inning, but with 1-0 lead, at the end of the day, that's a lead, and that's what we want to see this Doubledays offense get off to a fast start, and hopefully pick and keep it going throughout the game.
It's a really quick 3-0 count to Adam Sullivan. A walk here, which the pitcher Sherwood is a ball away from, would put a second Doubleday in scoring position this inning. There'd be runners on first and second with a walk, and that pitch will catch the outside part of the strike zone. 3-1 count.
Hey, hot dog. And one of my almonds.
It appeared that Sherwood kind of dampened his fastball there, just 86 miles per hour. Had to make sure it got in the zone. As Sullivan knocked one over to short, and Inman will snag it and touch second for the final out of the inning. The Doubledays, though, a successful bottom of the first, take the lead here in this ball game. We'll be back at the top of the second with the Doubledays leading 1-0. Back here in the top of the second inning of the Doubledays, lead 1-0 over the first place Batavia Muckdogs. A successful first inning, but a lot of time left in this ball game. Auburn needs to keep the foot on the gas as that first pitch of the inning is low and in the dirt from Eric Korzeniewski. Korzeniewski made it through the first inning in just 6 pitches, forced 3 flyouts, but 3 well-hit balls from Batavia, something to keep an eye on, as that quick foul tip swing and a miss there that Bolton caught a piece of. James Bolton, the first baseman, up to bat.
One thing about Korzeniewski, we actually saw him in the last one of the previous to the start. Gave up 7 hits against Auburn with only 1 run off. So, Korzeniewski in that game, runners not only first and second, but second and third, actually a lot of innings in the scoring position. Korzeniewski was able to work himself out of it, that level of trouble, somebody call him out and able to continue in those types of situations.
He certainly is the West Genesee product, now attending SUNY Oneonta. So a local kid who stayed local, now one of the pitchers who's really stepped up for the Auburn Doubledays. Another pitcher who stepped up for Auburn recently, Owen Burchard, who was just recently nominated co-pitcher of the week in the Western Division of the PGCBL. The pitching for Auburn has been impressive throughout the campaign, as it's now a full count to James Bolton.
first innings.
A completely different changeup, and there's a swing and a miss from James Bolton. The first strikeout of the day for Eric Korzenewski, who gets the second inning going with fury. That brings up Jackson Inman, the shortstop, who was involved on nearly every play on the defensive side of things at the bottom of the first. The batting for this Batavia squad is certainly the reason behind the team's success. The pitching, capable, I'd even say very good, but the batting is top tier status among the PGCBL, and that's what elevates this Batavia squad to the top of the Western Division. So that's skied over into shallow left field. It's going to be the shortstop, Adam Sullivan, getting underneath it, as Inman had actually made it halfway to second with the height on that pop fly. But luckily for the Doubledays, Sullivan gets underneath it, and out number 2 is secured.
Start this throwing strikes here have pitches that have missed and been very close to his off. Like to see strike, start to get back.
Yeah, long at bat. Not bad for a pitcher if they end up getting a strikeout. So worked out in Korzenewski's favor here. He's gone through 5 batters, recorded 5 outs as that ball bounces past to Cesare.
Third best average is 337.
Sean Mendes, not exactly the most powerful of bats, but gets those blooper singles that sustain runs and score runs. 1-2 count with 2 outs on the board. Korzenewski trying to make it through a second inning of work, and will, as Mindas chases after a pitch that was nowhere near the zone. He doesn't look too thrilled with himself after that one, and Korzenewski takes down the Muckdogs 1-2-3 for the second straight inning, now with 2 punch-outs under his belt. So we'll be back here in the bottom of the second inning to see if the Doubledays can add on some more runs to their lead. Stay tuned for more.
That any current or former members of our armed forces please stand to be recognized. Again, the Grimsley Insurance Agency can take care of all your insurance needs. So for a home, auto, or business insurance quote, call the Grimsley Agency of North Syracuse today. And fans Cafe 108, located at 108 Tennessee Street, has a great full menu of delicious foods and beverages. And in addition to sponsoring Doubledays baseball, they also support the Auburn Doubledays Theater. They donate 100% of their profits to the theater to help bring affordable live performances to our city.
The Doubledays have showed up on the defensive side today and are looking to prove that their offense is also awake. They scored a run in the first, looking to add to that in the second. Charlie Wortham, the third baseman out of Mississippi State, is going to be the one to kick things off. Wortham will be followed up by Gianni DeCerbo and Caden Albright. Still going against starting pitcher Jaden Sherwood. As that pitch misses low. Doubledays scored in the bottom of the first. Tyler Vivacqua got on with a single, advanced over to second on a grounder, and then took third on a stolen base, and came home off of a ground out from Anthony DeCesare. Another fielder's choice. This one was from Anthony DeCesare, and that managed to score Vivacqua as he is ahead in this count. 2 balls, 1 strike.
That first inning, that's at the wall. They're at the stretch. You're needing to play small ball too.
Yes.
You're not going to have every single inning. Runners on second and third, and then deep job for left center. So you're going to have to find a way to work runs and the errors, the ball in play, just everything.
Wortham chasing there, and he gets sat down. First strikeout of the day for Jaden Sherwood, who went through the first inning. Went through 5 batters in the first inning. That'll bring up now Gianni DeCerbo, the right fielder. DeCerbo batting .291 on the campaign, trying to get up to that 300 average he had at one point in the season. That pitch misses outside.
It was a pitch. Sorry. I know, they didn't. Yeah, I know.
There's another solid hit from DeCerbo. Knocks it into center field, where the center fielder Hammond will scoop it up. But that's another quick single for the Auburn Doubledays. Get a runner on first. And DeCerbo has some speed in those legs. We'll see if he decides to try to take second. 6 steals on the campaign.
People at home didn't want to watch.
For the record, Luke, everyone wants to listen to you.
Thanks.
Jaden Albright falling behind in the count 0-1. Sherwood's found much more success through the early part of this game when he gets ahead in counts.
What?
As the 0-1 count swung on, and that'll go over third base, and Espinal can't gather it, as that'll be a base hit for Caden Albright, just barely inside the third base line, bounced off the base and made it a tough play from Espinal. Just a tough ricochet for someone who you mentioned is a very competent third baseman, a 3-year veteran of the Batavia Muckdogs and the PGCBL. Nick Izzo now up to bat, 0-1 count. 1 out on the board as that's hit high. And it's going to be the right fielder Horton getting underneath it, comes down with it. DeCerbo tags up and will get there with ease. Slides didn't need to. Doubledays have runners on first and third, no outs.
Now batting the center fielder from St. Mary's University, #1 Sam Meyer.
And again, I gotta mention it because I feel like we see it every time. Nobody's played across the park. Fastball out. It's great position.
Pickoff attempt thrown to try to nab an unsuspecting Caden Albright, but he was certainly ready for that one. At the plate is Sam Meyer, whose batting average is dipped down to 238 on the campaign, but he gets a base hit there. That gets right in the gap between shortstop and third base, and that'll let Gianni DeServo prance on home. Doubledays lead 2-0.
A man at the second baseman. I have to reveal the first leading number 21, Tyler Rittenhouse.
Luke, that's that small ball that you were talking about. Auburn preaching that early on in this game. Now runners on first and second, 2 outs. Leadoff batter Tyler Vivacqua up at the plate. Had a single in his first at-bat, came around to score. Vivacqua lets that one go for strike one. Pitch outside. Sherwood gotten in some trouble early on in this contest. Already allowed multiple runners in scoring position. And something that we don't normally see. This is a batter who threw who threw 30 innings on the campaign, only giving up 8 earned runs. That's an error there by the first baseman. Bolton just can't snag the pick attempt, and that now loads the bases. Runners on first, second, and third with still 2 outs, but a breath of fresh air for the Auburn Doubledays. Bobby Hardy up at the plate, bases loaded scenario. As that's a ball outside there. First pitch to Bobby Hardy. And it's also a testament to the hustle of the Doubledays, I'd say. Vivacqua could have just walked over to first, knew he probably would have gotten out. He probably gets out more than 9 out of 10 plays in that scenario. But the one off chance that it doesn't, he was ready. He still ran his full heart out and got rewarded with making it to first base safely. As Hardy checks his swing, and it'll be a called strike.
I know. I was like, okay, I got $50. I got her money in my
Hardy absolutely goes after that one, hits it over to the parking lot, but he was all over that pitch. That ball had the power to maybe get out of the stadium if it was hit in the right direction at the right time. That's fouled off the other way by Bobby Hardy.
They'll still play. International music.
2s across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. With bases loaded for Bobby Hardy, the number 2 batter in the lineup, as Hardy swings and misses, can't make any contact on the 72-mile-per-hour breaking ball. A crushing blow for an Auburn Doubledays team that had the golden opportunity to extend their lead even further. However, a 2-0 lead over Batavia after 2 innings, not too shabby. The Doubledays look to keep their lead maintained as they head into the 3rd inning of play.
late waving right now.
I got that.
So meet her behind the right field
I
fence.
even got a
And
vector
during the bottom
little
of the third.
sports bra that says welcome home. It's not halftime.
Well, we only went home Friday night. Just you and I, right? That's when his little ass must have snuck downstairs while we were sleeping. To go for a run.
Shut up. He does that.
Didn't we walk him before we went to bed?
Yeah, we actually went for a walk.
And then I got up and walked him.
He's trying to figure it out over here. They don't give me
I
enough
was
cheese.
pissed. I came home shit was in our room. I haven't met as much about it. Trying to figure out how it happened.
That was him starting the rumor right there.
You went in there, he took a swat.
Well, yeah, I know that. But I'm like,
Doubledays baseball back here in the top of the third at Falcon Park. A 2-0 lead over the first place Batavia Muckdogs. Still going to be Eric Korsniewski on the mound after mowing through the Batavia Muckdogs lineup. 6 batters faced, 6 outs recorded. Bring up Justin Espinal, who swings and misses at that first pitch.
Dave was the rare. I had him. I got for the weekend that one kind of check. Valuable shit up. Whoa, never mind. Never mind.
Both of those first 2 pitches, breaking balls that mirrored each other, dipped off at the very last second. Korsniewski got Espinal the first time around, couldn't get him the second time around. Goes right back to that pitch. And Espinal not taking the bait again. 2-1 count. And that one, a fastball, misses low, 3-1 count. Espinal on the campaign, batting .282. Surprising how low down on the list that is for the Muckdogs. A .282 average. That is around average on the squad. A testament to how good this Batavia team is at the plate. And the first the first Muckdog of the night is on first base. That's Espinal taking a walk over to first, bringing up Jacob Vesco, the designated hitter. First pitch to Vesco misses the zone. 1-0 count. Vesco rocking the Aaron Judge 99. Bold number choice. I'd imagine Judge inspired. Don't know how many 99s there were in the entire country before Judge started rocking it.
For $50.
Oh, yeah.
$50 for hot dogs.
And fries.
Well, it's got to be around 8 years at this point. It's always surprising. They came into the league at 25.
How much was that?
Certainly has been. Got a Yankees broadcast booth, both of us Yanks fans, as that's a big chop at it from Vesco. Doesn't come up with anything other than air. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs with Espinal on first.
He's like, you're going to take my car. I need my car back.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't want to.
As it's fouled off. Really is not too hot, not the same sweltering heat that was plaguing central and upstate New York for the past month or so. Now it's that nice weather. That's grounded over to third. Wortham connects with the second baseman Vivacqua, who tosses it over to Izzo for a beautiful double play that gets the Doubledays back into this inning.
And then you'd be like,
The match the catcher number 47 Cooper Roman.
Over there at first as well.
I know, I got to
Yeah,
say
that's what I love to see from this Doubledays team. Been a problem at points this season so far.
go this way.
First pitch to Cooper Romick. Romick can't check his swing.
9 for 1.
That's a quick strike there. Romick with the worst batting average on the Muckdog squad out of all qualified batters, hitting just 143 on the campaign. As that ball is in the dirt, 1-1 count.
Obviously, that's not the ball. Across. Can't take his foot off the gas. You don't want to this lineup looks over to the toss over at the board.
Yeah, the last three batters, the worst averages there, and it really doesn't dip down too much. Romick dips down quite a bit, but Vesco 293, and you look at Travis Hammond 266. These are a few players right here who can either impress decently with their bats, or when you look at players like Romick and Hammond, fantastic fielders, which is why you see consistent starting spots for them in the lineup. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs on the board as that's grounded over to short. Sullivan gobbles it up, tosses it to first. Izzo makes the snag for the final out of the inning. So despite the Muckdogs getting a runner on first, it's the third straight inning of Korzeniewski going 1-2-3. Just did it in a more convoluted way this time around. The Doubledays will be back up to bat here in the bottom of the third inning when we return. Mike Gialusi on deck.
Aggregate for all your residential and commercial needs. Leading off for the Doubledays, the extra hitter from Illinois University.
Live here in the bottom of the third inning, the Auburn Doubledays lead 2-0, have put together 2 one-run rallies, tried to make it a third here in the bottom of the third. Mark Gialusi up to bat. First pitch This is outside. Giuliani gets it right past the pitcher. Sherwood, for the third time tonight, can't feel the ball hit directly at the mound. Certainly not an easy play to make, especially with the velocity that Sherwood has on his pitches. That ball has to be blitzing right back at him. But another base hit for the Doubledays, hitting it right up the middle. Giuliani walked in his first at-bat. Ended up getting out on a fielder's choice from Anthony DeCesare. As that's going to be Sherwood letting a ball get away from him, clipping DeCesare right in the shoulder and back area. And that'll put runners on first and second, no outs. Sherwood looks a little shaken up here, as that'll cue up a mound visit from Batavia manager Skip Martinez. As not the best of starts for the pitcher, sporting a 2.4 ERA on the campaign.
They've had the point was they're talking from stay at Los and Walmart. Located at 318 Tennessee Street, right here in Auburn.
Sherwood will stay on the mound as expected. The young pitcher has plenty of leeway thanks to his his performances ranging from solid to stellar throughout the early part of the campaign. As Adam Sullivan steps up to bat, as I mentioned, runners on first and second, still no outs. Sullivan will be followed up by Wortham and DeCerbo. Sullivan grounded into a fielder's choice in his last at bat. That's fouled off down the left side. Sullivan suffered through a slight midseason slump, but has bounced back with vengeance, getting his batting average up to .313 over this final stretch. However, he falls behind in this count 0-2. As that's fouled off. Sullivan, of course, someone who, even when his production isn't quite there on the offensive side of things, is so good defensively that it kind of makes up for that. But when he's clicking, a valuable addition to the Doubledays lineup, as it's going to be the catcher, Cooper Romick, going to have a chat with his pitcher in Sherwood. More extended mound visit from the catcher than we normally see. Normally those are pretty brief, just a few words spoken, a few things cleared up. That took so long that the home umpire to go out there kind of rush this up. We can't be here too late here at Falcon Park, but luckily we got the great lights, you got the great stadium, so we don't mind being here till 9:30, 10 p.m. However late the game takes us, is that pitch high, 1-2 count. Sherwood breaking 90 on that pitch. Looked effortless doing it too. There are some pitchers who try to get that high velocity and end up just overextending themselves, completely missing the zone. That was a good pitch there from Sherwood, as Sullivan will foul another ball off. Yeah, with the word we've thrown around throughout the season, he's a defensive batter. Just fights to stay alive, fights to get those singles into left field, as that's fouled off by Sullivan. The fourth foul off of this at-bat.
The other way, you've seen that whistle. That way.
1-2 swung on, and it looks like it'll be going into foul territory, and it's over towards the Doubledays clubhouse. So the fifth foul ball hit by Sullivan this at bat, as we're approaching the eighth pitch of the at bat.
Two strikes.
He knows that he can't let those pitches close to the zone go unpunished, but he's going to let that one way outside go for free. He evens up the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, and Sullivan can't catch the breaking ball. He was looking for that 88, 89 mile per hour fastball, but the 73 mile per hour with the huge drop caught Sullivan swinging. That'll bring up Charlie Wortham with 1 out on the board, runners on first and second. Sullivan forced Sherwood into a 9-pitch at-bat. Wortham going to try to capitalize, see if Sherwood's a little tired after that one. And he'll go after that, and it'll land just foul. If it landed maybe a few feet to the right, could have potentially plated a few Doubledays runners.
The reason I say I'm looking for her it's after a long at bat that she would have the odds are he's one that's okay, I got a count, no one, and X.
Sherwood up to 3 strikeouts on the day as that pitch. Good frame job by Romick, but won't be called a strike. Instead, it'll be the first ball of the at-bat. .58 pitches thrown by Sherwood so far this contest. As that pitch way inside nearly clips the shoulder of Wortham. And you mentioned that Wortham has the chance to go opposite if he wants to here with that hole. We've seen the Mississippi State product be willing to do that throughout the campaign, always willing to make the smart play, not trying to play hero ball. And the smart play here would likely score a run for the Doubledays if it landed where no fielders were, as that's taken for a ball. 3 balls, 1 strike, in and out on the board. 3-1, as that's the second baseman Carreras playing close to second, and that ball will miss outside. Loading the bases, Wortham on first, DeCesare on second, Gialusi on third, and Gianni DeCerbo, who singled in his first time around, has a chance here to extend the Doubledays lead even more than their current 2-0 advantage. It's a big moment as that first pitch misses outside to DeCerbo, ball number 1. Auburn stranded all 3 last time as that pitch in the exact same spot, missing outside 2-0. And those are 2 weird misses from Sherwood. His breaking balls had been pretty much right over the middle through the first rotation through the order. 2 breaking ball misses on the outside part of the plate. That time a fastball catches the outside part of the plate. Looks like he was trying to set up that pitch exactly. Two one, DeCerbo chases a pitch at the outside part of the plate, fouls it off. So a quick comeback from Sherwood gets the count to 2 balls, 2 strikes, and out on the board. So the one thing DeCerbo does not want to do is strike out here, put the bases loaded, 2-out situation in the hands of Caden Albright as he chases outside there. That's that 74-mile-per-hour breaking ball to the outside that Sherwood kicked off the at-bat with twice in a row. But the speed just seemed to confuzzle DeCerbo there as Caden Albright will now step into the batter's box. He singled to third in his first time around. That pitch barely misses the zone. Caden Albright on the campaign, batting .258. He's really stepped up since the Doubledays lost a few key veterans in the latter half of the season. Another pitch to the exact same spot, just misses the zone. Two-zero count, and it seemed like the exact same spot. Must have been a sliver more inside, because that's called for strike number 1. '70th pitch of the day for Sherwood, and that's hit. Another single up the middle for the Auburn Doubledays. Caden Albright scores a run and gets a second in as DeCesare goes home. Wortham looked like he was going to make a play for third, slips a little, and will go back to second. But the Doubledays now lead 4-0 in this contest. Yeah, I'd say that's somewhat surprising. It looked like Sherwood was about to pull off a fantastic Houdini act and get out of that inning untouched. Gives up a single that's not great contact. It was a good single, sure, but not great contact. Now it's going to be a new pitcher. We'll have more information on who the Batavia Muckdogs have on the mound when we come back.
first baseman for
Returning from our quick break, it's now a new pitcher on the mound for the Batavia Muckdogs, Walker Glacier, who I believe is a switch pitcher. Given a somewhat tough situation, however, runners on first and second, does have 2 outs on the board. Nick Izzo up to bat after the Doubledays plated their 3rd and 4th runs of the day off of a single from Caden Albright. That'll bring up Nick Izzo as that first pitch high over the head of Izzo. As that pitch in the dirt, and it looks like Izzo did go. That pitch up to 89 miles per hour. Batavia not skimping on the speed, going from a speedy pitcher in Sherwood to a similarly strong arm in Glacier. As that pitch way outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Two balls, 1 strike, as that's going to be another check swing there from Nick Izzo. Gets ahead in the count, 3-1. On deck, it's Sam Meyer, who rounds out the Doubledays order. After that, returns to the top with Tyler Vivacqua and Bobby Hardy. The ball here loads the bases, and instead Izzo's going to swing on it, hit it high into shallow center field, and it'll drop into the glove of Travis Hammond, who slides underneath it. A great play to end the bottom of the 3rd inning. But again, the Doubledays stranding runners on, not too upset about it, with a 4-0 lead over the Batavia Muckdogs. We'll see if Auburn can keep their stellar defense going when we return at the top of the 4th.
History and all of its natural beauty.
Auburn Doubledays lead 4-0 in the top of the 4th. It's still going to be Eric Korzeniewski on the mound. Outlasted opposing starting pitcher Jaden Sherwood. Went for 6 hits, 4 strikes or strikeouts, and 4 runs given up through just under 3 innings of action. Up to bat will be Travis Hammond, who still is going for his first at-bat of the night, the final batter in the Muckdogs order before it flips back around to Braden Horton and Cooper Fesh. Hammond even in the count so far, 1-1. A bunt attempt popped up foul. He has not seemed to slow down at all. Hammond ended the Doubledays rally with a fantastic sliding play out there in center field. Pitch narrowly misses outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hammond has worked his way back to a 3-2 count. Full count. And Korzeniewski will walk him. The second walk that Korzeniewski has given up tonight. Justin Espinal garnered the first one. And then Jacob Vesco promptly followed that up by grounding into a double play. But it's going to be a bit tougher this time around for Korzeniewski, going against Braden Horton, Cooper Fesh, and Omar Carreras, the top of the Muckdogs order.
What? You do?
As that's going to be Hammond taking off, and he's speedy. He was always going to get there. Had a great jump, and he was going, it looked like, the entire time.
Yeah.
His legs literally about like that. Yeah,
Horton getting ahead 2-0.
It's the weirdest thing.
The Oklahoma product transferring over to Coastal Carolina. Bouncing around D1 schools.
I'm like, no, that's how the kid walks.
As the Oneonta product gets a strike in there. Strike number 1. 2 balls, 1K.
I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. Look at the video of that.
And Luke, we had mentioned that the key was going to be doing the damage against the bottom of the lineup. Well, we've seen Hammond get on base here early on in the inning. Let's see if it comes back to bite Korzeniewski as he's worked his way to a 3-1 count against Braden Horton. Low for ball 4, and that'll advance Horton over to first, putting runners on first and second with no outs. And as expected, manager Matt Patricia going to go have a chat with his young pitcher who's worked his way into some trouble here in the 4th. Korzeniewski gifted plenty of run support, but needs to be able to hold on to that lead, especially against a team like Batavia.
I like the sparkling finale. I wish we said this, but
Korzeniewski will stay on the mound again, as expected. Still has not given up a hit yet today. But with 3 walks, has gotten himself in some trouble. As it's going to be a bunt attempt, perfect, right down the third base line. And that's going to be an infield single for Cooper Fesh, the extra hitter. The first hit given up by Korzeniewski is a bunt.
Batting the second baseman, Omar Carreras.
yeah, I was
It seems like he doesn't know what he's talking about. I said, I know.
Korzeniewski has a long way to go to get out of this inning. As that pitch misses low. And this is where the scouting report against Korzeniewski lays down the blueprint to beating him. Someone who doesn't
That's why I said you
strike out a ton of batters,
can you bring
but
some
the
flowers?
walks do tend to add up at times. As that's hit deep into right field. DeCervo will get underneath it for the first out, but 2 tag-ups will occur. The throw not going to get close as that was out near the warning track, and the Batavia Muckdogs will get on the board. It's a 4-1 ball game with runners on the corners.
Up at the first baseman, number 27, James Bolt.
No, don't wait for my I'm so fluorescent. I stand out in the crowd.
And it's grounded over to short. Sullivan to Vivacqua and misses on the throw to Izzo. And that's going to be Bolton taking second on the error. And another missed opportunity there from Tyler Vivacqua. Instead of a scenario where the Doubledays escaped, only giving up 1 run. It's now a 4-2 ball game with the runner on second.
Up batting the shortstop, number 2, Jackson Inman.
Oh. Well, those ones, they make you
Inman swings and misses at that one. Which breaks that the Doubledays don't want to be giving the Muckdogs. There's a reason this team is sitting in first place in the Western Division. It's because they grasp defeat from the jaws of victory, or grasp victory from the jaws of defeat. So I twist that one up. It's now 1-1 count to Jackson Inman. One, and Inman not biting on the outside pitch.
Diego's probably hopping at the window, like, come in.
And that's where the errors start to hurt the Doubledays. We've seen it in a lot of their home wins. It's been their flawless play in the field that carries them to victory. There's an error there from Tyler Vivacqua, potentially added another run onto the Muckdogs' score as that ball trails foul to Cesare, who's going to try to make a play on it, but lands on top of the net. 2s across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, with a runner on second.
They did sing free bird, right? Yeah, they play.
Shortstop, batting .311 on the campaign,
Yep.
popped out in his first at bat.
Today, I heard you.
Cool.
You.
Yeah.
2-2 is in there for strike number 3. Breaking ball dips right into the middle of the zone to sit down Jackson Inman. Eric Korzeniewski escapes having only given up 2 runs, but the Doubledays lead cut in half. Auburn up 4-2 heading into the bottom of the 4th.
Get everybody's beers. You want me a beer? Oh, hold on. We had a basket. We go get whatever.
Right. That was my kid weekend, remember? That's when we first started talking. We were in the States.
It's Sam Meyer kicking things off for the Auburn Doubledays as they lead 4-2, but want to get those 2 runs back. The starting pitcher, Eric Korzeniewski, gave up in the top half of the 4th inning. First pitch in the zone for strike number 1 to Meyer. Walker Glacier on the mound. As that's a breaking ball, misses way high. 66-mile-per-hour looping pitch. Glacier forced Nick Izzo to pop out in the end of the bottom of the 3rd. Great play again made by Travis Hammond to secure the final out. Ball 2 thrown by Glacier. Talk about big pitch difference. 66-mile-per-hour looping pitch goes to an 88-mile-per-hour fastball, missing the zone. And Meyer trying to adjust to the speed. 87 catches Meyer just a bit too late. Count even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. After Meyer, it's the top of the Doubledays order. Vivacqua, Hardy, Gialusi. Meyer doesn't chase the pitch on the outside. Full count.
Do you know when the Hudson tour is for the bike tour? Like right after, or like they get a week?
We hit 7:48 Eastern time. Full count to Sam Meyer, who cracks one right up the middle. As the shortstop makes a tough play and doesn't get there in time. Wouldn't have mattered because Bolton doesn't come down with it anyways. But another infield single for the Auburn Doubledays, who've been continuously hitting it just right up the middle towards the second base bag and being rewarded for it.
So you leave Friday, come back the 1st August.
That'll bring up Tyler Vivacqua, who has gotten on base both times tonight. Vivacqua kicked things off in this contest by heading it right up the middle, and it seems that the rest of the Doubledays have just been playing copycat since then. As Vivacqua takes that first pitch high, ball number 1. One 0 count. As that swung on and missed by Tyler Vivacqua. Now, one thing to note about Walker Glacier, switch pitcher could throw with both arms. Against a switch hitter in Tyler Vivacqua, however, that doesn't really change things up too much. Just could deadlock these guys into a game of chicken. He's going to throw it over to first, where Meyer will retreat back to the bag. Doubledays have gotten runners on every inning, scored every inning up until this one. Trying to keep the streak going as Vivacqua chops at that high pitch. It'll trail foul. Glacier ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Meyer remains on first as that pitch misses high yet again.
But you gotta take those major things.
Glacier's been taking his time, trying to be surgical, setting up pitches. The Doubledays seemingly been ready for it this inning, not getting aggressive and not chasing those pitches missing the zone.
Definitely gonna go.
What do you want to do in the like, you know?
2-2 pitch comes in, breaking ball doesn't come all that close to the plate. And we'll make it a full count for the second batter in a row.
That's why I think the Army would be good. because then you can go just you know? You don't want to do it, huh? I mean, you don't have to. I'm just saying that's something that's better.
Vivakwa fouls that one off. And I think it comes down to, there's a reason Cooper Romick is in this Muckdogs lineup with the 143 batting average. It's because of the cannon that he sports behind the plate. No reason to risk the out if you're the Auburn Doubledays. Holding on to their 2-run lead. No outs on the board.
You gotta start.
Payoff pitch is way outside. Vivakwa takes first for free. Meyer advances to second. And now it'll be Bobby Hardy, who's 0 for 2 on the day, up to bat, looking for redemption with the Doubledays' 2 best base runners on first and second.
Yeah. But that's stuff you gotta think about if you can handle it, because some people have some trauma from not being able to say something or something. Yeah, especially a baby.
Hardy showing bunt, and we'll just bloop it over to third, as that's secured by the third baseman. An error there by Espinal, who just clearly didn't think that one through too much. That ball would have went foul, but instead, they will call it foul. They must have snagged it in foul territory. I don't even think Espinal knew that he did that, but we'll see Hardy, a bit confused, come back to the batter's box. I think everyone in the stadium thought that. Even I think Justin Espinal thought that. But nevertheless, it's an 0-1 count. Hardy no longer showing bunt that, obviously. We'll see if he goes back to it after a good attempt there. And he will go back to the showing bunt. And this one will hit him in the head, it looks like. That doesn't look good as he's sprawled out on the ground. And he's getting back up, which is a good side. And the umpires will confer to discuss whether or not he'll be awarded with a hit by pitch. He was still, and it did not pull back on the bunt attempt. He's chatting with both manager Matt Petrosi and trainer John Ham.
Hit by pitch, still swinging. Comes to swing. Pitch, showing. And Bobby Hardy come back to the plate.
It does not look like he is. Hardy looks a bit frustrated. Never a good feeling when you take one off the dome for the team and still don't get rewarded for it. As Vivakwa returns to first, Meyer returns to second. The Doubledays faithful, the Falcon faithful as we dub them, not too happy with that decision from the umpires, but probably the correct call.
Yeah. First one.
This is entertaining.
0 balls, 2 strikes, 0 outs. Hardy fighting to stay alive against Walker Glacier. Glacier catches Hardy swinging and missing, and Hardy has some words for the home plate umpire. Flings his bat down. He's got to be a bit more careful than that. He'll leave his bat out there. Understandable frustration after a bunt that probably should have been called fair. Controversial call in the second pitch of the at-bat, and gets caught swinging on the third pitch. Hardy has reason for his frustration.
Yeah.
First.
Meyer takes off and gets over to third with ease. As the throw from Cooper Robick not going to get there in time. Meyer, with his 18th stolen base of the campaign, puts runners on the corners.
Did on his own, not just 17 steals, now 18 on the year. He's got like a good play on the base paths. Hey, you can make it go because just let's see a couple steals between the blockers here. The blocker on the second, that was on first. So that would have been something Hardy just read from the pitcher, Glacier. He liked it, took off the hit.
Allen left today.
Yeah, the Doubledays' two
Got on the
best
previous
base
one.
runners, at least in terms of stolen bases, on right now. Vivacqua on first, Sam Meyer on third. And it's Mark
Well, he's got a
Gialucci
layover at
up to
third.
bat after fouling
And
that
he's
one
gotta
off. It's a
get
1-1
another
count.
plane to go down to Savannah, Georgia. And then he's got to get the bus to an hour and 45 minutes from that airport to Harris Island.
One ball,
Yeah, they all
one
get on a
strike,
bus.
1 out.
So it's a whole
Two runners on.
plane full of kids
Gialucci just
going
trying
up there
not
like
to hit into a
chickens
double play.
fly.
Also looking to avoid striking out. As that's scooped up into right field. Horton coming underneath it, gets a running jump on it. Meyer still going anyways, and the throw takes the catcher in Robick way off of home, and that's going to be a sacrifice fly for the batter Mark Gialucci, scoring Sam
If he
Meyer.
doesn't get the lane,
Now batting the catcher from the University of Red.
cheaters.
That's hit over to Horton again. This will be in foul territory, and
Nice.
Horton's going to slide short of the wall as that goes into the opposing bullpen.
Getting the dirty out there with that slide. Was it running to great if
Doubledays leading 5-2. 7 hits on the board for Auburn compared to just 1 for Batavia. Walker Glacier ready for his 27th pitch of the day. His first full inning of work is likely going to be ended a chopper over to Espinal, and does not make the connection with Bolton. Bolton with another error today is going to put runners on the corners yet again. Espinal with a great throw over to first, and Bolton just could not secure the inning-ending snag. Excuse me. Sullivan chasing that pitch high there. A 1 count. Yet again, a breath of new life for this Auburn Doubledays squad. We've already stranded plenty of runners on base today. Have 2 runners on right now. Sullivan, 2 strong chops at it. Comes up with error both times. But he's due for a hit here. 0 for 2 on the night. Streaking Sullivan wants to keep that streak going. This ball in the dirt. Gets away from Romick. But Romick has a reputation to Cesare not even going to attempt taking second despite having a runner on third. And while while DeCesare isn't necessarily the fastest runner, the right decision probably would have been to take off there with a runner on first. A runner on third. You might as well put the pressure on the catcher to potentially make a bad throw that allows Tyler Mavakwa over there at third to score. As that's fouled off by Adam Sullivan. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yes? That pitch outside loads up the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Gleishon trying to avoid loading the bases. A walk would bring up Charlie Wortham. With the bases loaded, 2 outs on the board. As DeCesare takes off, that's hit deep into center field. Hammond gathers, gets underneath it, and secures the final out of the inning. Sullivan just can't get it far enough. But we'll be back as the Doubledays score for the 4th straight inning, lead 5-2. We'll be back for more Doubledays baseball in the 5th. Doubledays lead 5-2 over the Batavia Muckdogs. Trying to keep that going, Eric Korzeniewski going out for his 5th inning of work. Looked a little shaky in the 4th, gave up 2 runs. Luckily, kicked things off before that with 3 straight 1-2-3 innings, so had some leeway to work with. 0-1 count now to Sean Mindas, the batter in the 6th hole, as that's in the dirt, 1-1 count.
Yeah.
That's swung on and missed from Mindas. Strike number 2. Just a fantastic changeup in the delivery of Korzeniewski. Switching things up there to catch Mindas off balance, as that's going to be barely tapped by Mindas to stay alive in the at-bat. Two balls, 2 strikes. Korzeniewski catches Mindas swinging, just 73 miles per hour on that pitch, and Mendoza had no clue what he was doing in that at-bat. Gets sat down for the second time today.
And the third baseman, number 21, Justin Espinal.
First pitch, misses the zone. Espinal swings and misses there. Didn't really go after that one too aggressively. But that could just be conflating a bit of a slower swing with his very smooth transition that he has, just getting around there. Doesn't look like he puts too much power in any of his swings, although he went after that one pretty strongly. Count evens up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tries to get the dipping fastball there. And Espinal's going to yank that down the first base line, barely foul. Still just 66 pitches on the night for Korzenewski. He's been very efficient so far, despite giving up 2 runs. That's fouled off yet again by Espinal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm right.
Because I had the best team until like 10 feet.
Yeah,
I was 17.
It's fouled off yet again.
Oh, yeah.
3 consecutive foul balls hit with
That's
2
what I
strikes on the board. Hammond nearly with some friendly fire right there.
I did.
Not
I
when we
was
were.
hustling.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch misses the zone.
None of my friends like in school.
Makes it a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes as we approach the 9th pitch of the
in my
at-bat.
generation, yeah.
I was 16,
Maybe my
17,
uncle
paid
had a
it.
fucking.
We used to have pages,
Yeah,
but
my
if
uncle
you
had a
could get a
pager.
number, you have to go to payphone.
Thanks for
But
sticking
then-
with us as we
Yep,
approach
but then when,
8:10
Buffalo
Eastern
came out,
time. Espinal fouls that one off yet again, drops right down into the dirt.
I paid you my number, 911, that means call me back ASAP.
Yeah.
I paid you, like,
And Luke, you had mentioned you wanted
paid.
Korzenewski to escape, sitting with, maybe 75 pitches. Was already up to 70 here with more room for this at-bat to grow. 71st pitch, fouled off yet again. That's now 10, moving on to 11 pitches in this at-bat.
Age for booty. Huh?
Who's that?
I don't know.
Full count payoff pitch, misses outside, and it looks like Espinal will instead come away victorious in the war. Korzenewski with his 4th walk of the day, and that will bring up the batter and Jacob Vesco, who grounded out into a double play his last time around.
Let's go.
Hopefully sooner than later. We are your bosses.
How you guys?
Because we're the
As
boss.
you mentioned, or as we talked about earlier, this contest, those 10, 11 pitch at bats, those get tiring for a pitcher, and it's always tough to kind of bounce back immediately from those.
Would you tell me that?
1-0 outside, 2-0 count.
Yeah, you did.
And Luke, it would not be surprising with a 4-pitch walk here if this was the last batter Korzenewski faced. Still just a 2-0 count, so not too in danger of that yet, but needs to look a bit stronger in the second half of this at-bat. Just misses the zone there, 3-0.
Jeez.
Not paid you.
3 balls, 0 strikes this pitch. High and inside. And there's the 4-pitch walk that Korzeniewski had to avoid. Does not look like Petrosi is calling him out yet, but does seem to be signaling something to the bullpen, maybe indicating some more warming up out there in the bullpen, as it's going to be DeCesare having a chat with Eric Korzeniewski, the young pitcher.
Now batting the catcher is number 47, Cooper Roman.
He needs to refine his magic over these last 2 batters of the order, Cooper Romick and Travis Hammond. And it jumps back around to the top of the Muckdogs order, Horton, Fesh, Carreras. 1 out on the board, runners on first and second. That's hit deep into center field. It's going to be Sam Meyer getting underneath it for the second out of the inning. Cooper Romick goes down quickly.
Now batting the center fielder, number 3, Travis Hammond.
A lot.
2 outs on the board, 2 runners on. Travis Hammond up to bat. He walked and then later came around to score his first time around. Hammond gets that right to Sullivan. Sullivan scoops it over to Tyler Vivacqua for the final out of the inning. Some early trouble for Eric Korzeniewski, but he escapes only throwing 79 pitches, just 4 away from your target of 75. We'll see if Korzeniewski remains in for the top of the 6th inning. But before we get there, the Doubledays up to bat in the bottom of the 5th. Stick around to see if the Doubledays add on to their 5 runs.
Again, the Trumpton State Mutual Insurance Company for all insurance needs are located on Route 34 South, right here in Auburn.
Didn't have one? You didn't have one? I got one in my car. How fast did it work?
Getting on for the Double-A third baseman, number 31, Charlie Woodland.
Back here at the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Doubledays lead 5-2. Escaped a bit of a jam there in the top half of the inning. Now it's Charlie Wortham up to bat, still going against the switch pitcher, Walker Gleishaw.
Eric Kozlowski is the last starter. Then a battle with runners on against the trade because he's done that in the last 2 innings, obviously. They gave up 2 runs. They started there in the fifth. Runners on, he was able to battle out. Even with runners in scoring position, Kozlowski was able to find his way out.
1-1 pitch. Gets it there. Excuse me. 1-2 pitch. Now strike number 3. Quick out there. Charlie Wortham gets
Now
caught
batting the right
looking.
fielder from Hamilton.
And that'll bring up Gianni DeCerbo.
DeCerbo.
Elisha hasn't really had the chance to show off his switch pitching, as the Doubledays are sporting a mostly righty lineup today. A few of the guys who do bat lefty from time to time, Tyler Vivacqua, Adam Solomon, also tend to be switch hitters. The switch pitcher, kind of useless against a bunch of switch hitters on the squad. As DeCerbo hits it to center field, Hammond under it with ease. Out number 2 secured.
Now batting the designated hitter from Binghamton University, number 9, Albright.
Yes. Sure does. It's almost luxurious for the hand. So that'll bring up Caden Albright. Takes that first pitch high and inside. Albright with 2 singles on the night, including a 2 RBI single his last time up. Trying to keep his perfect night going. Fouls that one off. One count, 2 outs, another high pitch. Albright working up that batting average. And on the campaign, 258. Surely boosting it so far this game as that's fouled off. 2s across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Glacier trying to take down the Doubledays 1-2-3. Not only would it be the first time the Doubledays didn't have a base runner this contest in an inning, it would also be the first inning in which the Doubledays did not manage to score a run. As that's hit into left field, but it'll go straight to the glove of Mindas for the final out of the inning. The Muckdogs finally cut through the Doubledays 1-2-3. We'll see how Auburn bounces back at the top of the 6th. Stick around for more Doubledays baseball.
doing it. My little bottle just got up and didn't walk away. I don't like that shit. It's too like thick and like. Oh, thick.
I like using oil. Vitamin E oil. Good for the skin.
I'm gonna say, Mom got a dog sugar kit she puts on before bed.
He's like, what's that for? For my Alma. He's like, what's that for? Why do you got different lotion for every party?
Great start.
No, I'm very good.
Probably
Beyond. No, I do it all the time.
Exactly. You break out all the time. Yeah.
No, I don't. I haven't broken out.
I have to put it right.
Yeah,
You're looking up.
No.
Just the second home run of the season for this Muckdog squad. As good as they are at the plate, they're not necessarily a home run hitting team. And here at Falcon Park, we haven't seen many home runs. We saw a homer from Colson Thompson early on, a homer in the Oneonta game that was an exhibition, did not count. Or excuse me, not the Oneonta game, the game against Ottawa. And now the first opposing home run in a game that matters this season.
That's what you're saying. To get there, yeah, it's like 4 hours. You better catch that ball. Get it in.
Now, Omar Ferrer.
And Luke, we had talked about it early on in Korzeniowski's outing, where he had a few hits given up that they didn't land, they were caught by the Doubledays, as that's going to clip Omar Carreras in the leg. But they were just concerning hits that even though they turned into flyouts, they were good contact. Well, that hit right there by Cooper Fesh, despite it being caught by Bobby Hardy, was concerningly good contact following a home run.
Down here, go down here.
Baseball. Pictures. Auburn Doubledays here. Sure. Strike number 3.
Now batting the shortstop, number 2, Jackson Inman.
Schumacher has certainly picked things up here after a few rough at-bats to start things off. Great strikeout there from the pitcher out of John Carroll.
Outside.
An important note, Omar Carreras over there at first. 0 stolen bases on the campaign, something that can take a load off the mind of both the pitcher Schumacher and Cesare.
Was on the outside part of the plate. That's the ball to stay alive. Fouled off, staying alive.
Very defensive batting here from Inman, putting on a clinic of just not giving up the at-bat, not taking a strike with his bat at his shoulder.
He's going to be swung on and foul. Well, left right lead-off home run. Indoors. That's
Want to raffle off a game-worn jersey this season? You can get your tickets sent by for just $1 or keep them to the draw net at today. Moving on forward with Doubledays, first baseman number 12, Izzo.
Izzo. Outside. Outside.
Temperatures dropped a few degrees. We can kind of feel it up here in the press box. You can kind of tell, but still get the lights on. It's a nice Auburn Doubledays day of baseball.
I see a few sweatshirts.
Even our on-field announcer, Kira Dominic, opting to rock the Doubledays hoodie. Everyone's buying into the trend right now.
Always. To the left.
If we're giving a shout out to Kira, also got to give a shout out to the mascots. You can see Abner down there at the bottom of the screen. Also got Casey mulling around about here.
Casey.
Oh yeah.
Out number 1.
Now batting the center fielder from Mary's number 1, Kenny Meyer.
Hammond is just so impressive defensively. Really reminds me of Denzel Clark of the A's, where he's just such a presence out there in center field, so explosive, so dynamic, that you could accept around average level hitting from him on the offensive end.
Outside. Also,
After Meyer, it flips back around to the top where it's Vivacqua, Hardy, and Gialusi in the weight.
Of the Doubledays.
On this Doubleday squad, Meyer, the king of just staying alive, always fights in these at-bats. Always seems to have those ones that go up to 9-10 pitches. There, not so much.
Now batting the center baseman from Miami, the rookie number 21, Tyler Vivacqua.
Tonight has reached base twice with a single. Actually, also reached base 3 times. Once for one, trying to air.
Come on now.
And someone aims to hit the plate. It's just out of reach. And Justin Espinal at the corner went diving. Stayed on the ground for a second now. Something. Maybe.
Yeah, right.
Just some miscommunication there by the fielders for the Muckdogs. They've had a pretty shocking, poor defensive day so far. Those 2 errors have proven to be costly. Without them, this could be even closer than the current 5-3 ball game that it is.
I had glasses, there's no room. But I was 3 points up, I just put 3 points up. 3 laps.
And I used to be the opposite, so I had surgery when I'm too far away now. But I see close to the person that well. Yeah.
It's a color of your eye, that's
miles per hour.
You've seen it.
No, it's the perfect. See up close. They tried to blame it on my age. Never had one chair. They get right back in Vegas. Trying to get like
It's like, damn, I'm worth it. No. Come on, Mama. He's like, I don't know. I thought you went to read, but you never did.
do that. Yeah, it was a good day. It's slower than ours.
What do you mean? It was the 90s. It was so your generation. I was kidding.
We did the whole thing.
Exactly. We did that too.
It's a pinch hitter right now for the Batavia Muckdogs. Kyle Vaughn up to bat. Just batting 200 on the campaign. However, hasn't played a ton so far, so has a little bit of an excuse there for the low total numbers. That pitch.
Now batting the third baseman is Winston Espinal.
Finished 7 individuals on the night, maker in the 6th inning, and it's still either way. for a hit.
Shoemaker looking to do what Korzeniewski couldn't and finally just put Espinal away.
His left snap up, which is foul balls.
Swing on it, miss.
Hit.
Batting designated hitter number 99, Jacob Vesco.
And ever since that home run, it's looked a lot better for Shoemaker, who certainly stepped into his own over these last few batters.
That
Well, the shoulder. Hit the shoulder. Oh, that's. Second time we've seen.
Batting catcher number 47, Cooper Romick.
Boring.
It's not too easy to get up by the head of Vesco. He's standing at 6'4". That's a big guy. That ball had to get quite a ways away from Max Shoemaker.
No.
but like say like he's so chicken good.
Yeah. Come back and get us.
Yeah. But you know the cargo bait, you know, so they will be yeah, I can yeah. You better I'll call the cops.
Strikeout here goes a long way. Just cements the confidence that Shoemaker's been building up for himself. Despite a little bump on the road with that hit by pitch, a strikeout would certainly get him back on the right side of things.
You go to bed. Huh? You go to bed. Yeah. For what? For joyriding. A met. Me.
Well, black knew.
Both sides.
Yeah.
On that bat. 2 strikes.
See ya. Who's gonna do it?
That one heading over to
And a tough hit giving up by Max Shoemaker. Cooper Romick, the worst batter statistically in this Muckdogs lineup batting. As I mentioned earlier, just 143 on the campaign, had been 0-2 prior to that point, but a hit that advances Jacob Vesco over to third, and a hit by Travis Hammond here. The scoring run is, or excuse me, the tying run is at first. The Doubledays need to be extra cautious with how they approach these next few at-bats.
Right there, you got it.
Here has assembled some singers, and they'll be us in taking out for the ball game. 34, Bobby Hardy.
Markham, a 6'4" righty out of Lindsey Wilson College, originally from Kentucky. Markham on the campaign so far, making his 6th appearance of the season, all of them in relief. There's 1 save, 6.2 innings of work, but I think the most impressive stat, sporting just a 130 batting average against, very tough to get hits off of. Already 0 for 3 in the night so far, looking for that turnaround at-bat that he desperately needs. The Doubledays have seemed to just cooled off over the past 2 innings offensively. And there might be some validity to that. You know, the ball travels a little bit less far when it's chillier out, so maybe that has actually had some impact on the performance of the Doubledays. And that ball not hit very hard, and Hardy has the speed to make up for the short throw distance. Hardy displaying the legs and the juice. That's one of the reasons why he's always batting either 1 or 2, or sometimes in that 10 spot as a pseudo leadoff batter.
I don't even know
Right up the middle, breaking the place. Edmund possible second for 1 out. Not in time. Just able to out the throw for second. First choice.
And that's where having that stronger swing sometimes makes it tougher for the runners, because that was hit so hard that the shortstop and Inman was able to make that play very easily. Gialucci lucky to be staying at first base unscathed.
Yeah, I thought over the well people they say something lots everywhere. They I talked to two guys. Literally got but I do have to keep coming out. Time.
His 7th steal of the campaign. Gialucci has sneakily fast speed.
Yeah.
Jennifer wants
So when
other way. Sure.
Luke, that's the hustle that we've talked about all day. It looked like after Romick gave Gianluci the once-over, he determined that Gianluci was just going to head back to second, but Gianluci realized there was some hesitation, maybe his catching ability giving him something to work with. Small ball is certainly true, but a fly ball does wonders. Likely would turn into a sacrifice fly. Even if it's short in the outfield, we've seen the Doubledays runners on third get aggressive with these short fly balls so far this game.
And the first one, the third thing,
Sullivan 0 for 3 on the night. Similar with Bobby Hardy earlier on, where he was 0 for 3, got a big-time single. Sullivan with a huge chance here to extend this lead to 3 runs. Could be the stretch that the Doubledays need against Batavia. That was a very close call there for Adam Sullivan. Lucky to be staying alive in this at-bat, though it does take plenty of skill to be able to check when you're already so committed to swinging like that. Great pitch there from Markham. I think even I would have swung at that one. That dipped at the very last second. Fantastic eye from Adam Sullivan to not get greedy, not be chasing. Even playing defensively there would have sat him down with a punch out.
Ladies and players, wrong ticket.
Yeah, Horton winning the battle, but so far Auburn's winning the war on the day. Shoemaker could certainly use a sit down of Horton here, however.
Now heading the extra hitter, number 5, Cooper Fresh.
And that just has to feel good if you're Shoemaker, getting that out of the guy who crushed you so badly in his first time around. Just that little bit of payback is all you need to really be getting in a groove.
And shows blunt and barrels of one off. Great thing that came out 1-1. Fresh put on a absolute beauty of a bunt in the 4th inning, where Muckdogs scored 2 runs. Coach Shoemaker will be high in all 2. So, out. And running for that one. 2-2. Pitch is going to be hit on the ground and base. And 2-2. Just one run gets on that one, then the tie runs still played. 2-2. Out, so coming in is off. Out of the 8th inning.
I will say, despite the one error made by the Doubledays today, their fielding has really impressed me. Great communication all around, and it seems like they've always been committed when the ball has been hit their way.
100% great. Doubledays mentioned that one error that did lead to a run scoring as the pitch. Other than that, they played a great defensive game. Something out of business. And Shoemaker, the 0-1 pitch will be outside. Hit up the middle, how to block it back in. Now, some of the first thing is hit, not able to come up with it. So, that move allowed Dolores to reach.
Abandoned the first baseman, number 27, James Bolton.
Get tough play up the middle. Ravaka had to get rid of that. Taking him away from the bag. On a tough play at first from Izzo. Giving him the stretch around the back. Tough
Pitch
play.
hitting for Batavia, number 9, Caleb Walker.
Hitter number 9, 8 for the Muckdogs.
Number 9, it looks like Caleb Walker Batting .233 on the campaign.
Right. Slow on the outside.
Walker, a veteran on this Muckdog squad. Batavia getting the older guys, the experienced guys, some more play late in these contests.
Everybody off the shortstop. Insurance was
Off for the Doubledays, third baseman from Mississippi State, number 31, Charlie Wilson.
light tossing the bullpen of the Doubledays.
Yeah, downright short of elite, as we've seen Schumacher really hold his own in one of his first Auburn Doubleday appearances, maybe his first appearance as an Auburn Doubledays, definitely his first home appearance, but has been on his A game, pitched 3 innings in relief of Eric Korzeniewski, the starter. Wouldn't surprise me to see him finish out the game, but also wouldn't surprise me to see Matt Petrosi go with a tried and true closer. Serba showed his clutch gene before in big moments. Now is the chance to kick off a Doubledays rally in the 8th. Another thing that we've seen the Doubledays do plenty of times at home before the season. in that Niagara Falls game. Actually deadlocked 4-4 in the top of the 10th inning. They're going into extras. A tie, however, would be good for Auburn because it means a win here and a tie for Niagara Falls would net not both teams at 3 games back.
And not able to make the sliding play. That was a drop foul. Ryan mentioned that would that game remains tied for Niagara Falls. Doubledays and the Americans would be tied for third place right now in the division. Is fans should be though try and jump over. Excuse me. Is the server for strike number 3. The second out in the bottom.
Now batting the designated hitter from 82.
Albright has been the player of the game on the offensive side of things for the Doubledays, trying to recreate some of that early magic that Auburn had. Auburn about to go scoreless in their last 4 innings if they can't get a 2-out rally across here.
Gets going a little bit later. It's been the pitching having to hold on to the start of it. The offense comes later. But tonight, the offense getting off to a fast start, 5 runs in 4 innings. The pitching out the night, only giving up 3 runs and needing 3 outs in the top of the ninth to secure a victory against the Muckdogs. Doubledays looking to string together a 2-out rally and try and add any insurance they can to their lead. Albright in the box ready for the first pitch to Markham. Stats earlier in batting average against. He's certainly here tonight, keeping this game only a 2-run deficit for the Muckdogs. Now coming from 0-2 in Albright. Albright now looking to protect the plate. 0-2 pitch. It's going to be outside. It's going to backstop. It won't matter. No runners on.
After Albright, it's Nick Izzo on deck, who's 0 for 3. I'm sure he'd like a shot at redemption, especially since there's a chance he might not go back up in the 9th.
In time to get Albright out. Step.
We thank the good folks at Kansas County Stampede of the Doubledays baseball program. Reduce the rate of alcohol and other offer up the
With us here. Fantastic finish. We'll be right back after this.
Leader for Batavia the first Dave Jackson.
Finish here. On. For the Doubledays is pitching. Pitch here. Strikeouts. The 0-1's hit in the outside right field. Jason Party. Once that one into the bullpen and the Doubleday strike number 2. Here at Auburn, looking for a huge division win against the Muckdogs. Just away from securing that. Steps back onto the rubber.
Right now, an update for our Auburn Doubledays fans, keeping track of the Niagara Falls score. Niagara Falls has completed the comeback. They're up 6-4 against Newark, bottom of the 10th.
And 22, Jake Creighton.
To go. At the plate, one. Took over the left field. Down second base. Love to see Shoemakers here in the ninth. Both hitters on a 0-2 against the plate. Not messing around. Pitch to Vaughn. It's to the Vaughn. That one big. Just outside. Those fans that to the strike number. Number 1. Pitch to Shoemaker.
You know, the Falcon faithful weren't too thrilled about that call on the outside part of the plate. However, it has been consistent with what the umpire has been calling throughout the game. And it's like they always say, it doesn't really matter if the umpire is correct, it just matters if they're consistent. The Doubledays know that's not a strike.
So far. Both sides to that's offenses 3, 4, 5 so
Same spot on the outside part. And these are good pitches thrown by Shoemaker. A, they're probably called strikes most days, and B, just throwing it on the edge of the strike zone is what he should be aiming to do.
Payoff pitch is going to be a hit. Stands on first. Justin Espinal.
Now batting the third baseman, number 21, Justin Espinal.
From their approach. Still going to be wants
It's going to be a tough decision, but it looks like there will definitely be a new pitcher in the game.
What they're going to do is slide them up to the house. Now take the pitch down the second base. Unlock the wheels and do some defensive placement. Straight the center. Pablo ready on the mound. Looks like I'm just Espinal on the top of my first pitch swinging though. Foul. Strike number one. Espinal represents the tying run in this ball game. Shut it down. One pitch. Second base.
Batting the designated hitter, number 99, Jacob Vesco.
Vesco, the last hope of this Muckdog squad. The first place unit looking fallible in this contest, not quite their usual infallible selves.
First pitch swinging. Vesco. That's and 0-1 count. Sullivan and Wortham comes deep at their respective positions. Sullivan spraying his feet out to the grass. Come on, and this hit in the air out to left field. Is that a drop? That will be a base hit, staying alive in this game for the Muckdogs. Base hit to field for Jacob Vesco.
Now batting the catcher, number 47, Cooper Rowan.
That was a big moment there. Tyler Vavakwa could have ended the game just one strike away from doing so. Instead, a well-hit ball there from Jacob Vesco. But this is exactly who Tyler Vavakwa wants up to bat. Cooper Romick still below 150 on the campaign, even with a single in his last at-bat.
First pitch going to be hit. Walker, 2-2, Adam Sullivan.
Just a great win for the Auburn Doubledays. And while they won't be able to match Niagara Falls in the standings, as Niagara Falls was able to win their game, a fantastic showing all around for this Auburn team. They hit well, especially early on in this contest. Their pitching was great from Korzenewski to Schumacher all the way to Vavakwa. And then the fielding, great fielding, just had that one error from Tyler Vavakwa over at second on a tough double play attempt. Outside of that, this Doubledays team played a flawless game, which is what you need to do against Batavia in order to beat them. And I think the coaching decisions play a huge factor in that, and that's why I think the pitching was allowed to thrive tonight, because manager Matt Petrosi picked a perfect time to pull Eric Korzenewski, still let him get a full body of work in, but at the right moment pulled him, let Schumacher go for a lot longer than I think most fans and most people watching the game expected him to, especially after an early homer. They just kept putting Schumacher back in the game, and then Tyler Vavakwa subbing him in as the closer at the perfect time. I think that Matt Petrosi this game absolutely coached out of his mind, and I think that, yes, he did win, at least partially win this game with his coaching. Well, I think there's two things. One, they can carry over the hot start. Getting that hot start against Batavia, I don't think you win without that. However, I think that they can look to improve, not leaving as many runners on base. You mentioned at a point roughly halfway through the game, they had already left 8 runners on base, and that was while scoring 5 runs. They let Batavia stick around while they did manage to keep them at elbows reach. If they could get those more, if they could add on those extra runs and not strand those runners on base, they can put them at arm's length, and that will truly help them to cement those wins against top-tier opponents. Back tomorrow.